Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. It's lovely to be here. It's fantastic to be back at GreenBiz. I am thrilled to walk amongst you once again. As Katie mentioned there, I am, as many of you know, a climate comedian. I've been a professional comic for 20 years, and I now write exclusively and perform exclusively about the climate crisis, and I offer that material to sustainability departments of big organizations to make their employee engagement feel a bit more exciting and visceral and a bit less like a sort of health and safety briefing where everyone wants to go, oh. So with that in mind, whenever you mention the climate, as many of you will know, as soon as you put your head above the parapet and express any opinion whatsoever on the climate emergency, you are forced to confront your own hypocrisy. We're all of us culpable. We're all of us bound up in this carbon economy. So you're forced to confront your own hypocrisy. And I know this because about 8 months ago, I was in the UK, and I was performing at a big gala climate charity fundraiser show, and there were poets and folk singers. And then the host came on and said, now, please welcome your headliner. He's the climate comedian who's been all around the world. I'm stood in the wings like, shut up, man. But he's not wrong. Only a few days ago, I flew from London to Arizona to take part in a climate conference. Obviously, I thought to myself at the time, that's way better than flying from London to Arizona and not taking part in a climate conference. I was looking daggers at everyone else on the plane. I bet you're not going to GreenBiz. You disgust me. I wrote a joke specifically for you. Before I tell you what Vulnerageous is, I wrote a joke that I can only perform here at GreenBiz. I wrote this yesterday, and thank you for those of you who I've buttonholed and said, can I try this out on you? This is a joke that can only be performed in this room. It's never been practiced or done before. It's this: how many members of the sustainability team does it take to change a light bulb? The answer being 1, which is lucky because there is only 1 member of the sustainability team. Thank you very much. Feel free to use that and pass it off as your own. So that brings us to this time in which we have to be empowered. We have to be hopeful. I think it's only in the context of crisis and our challenges that we can be hopeful, that we can show vigor. And on that basis, for you in the United States, you must be feeling very vigorous indeed just now. So we need to show up now more than ever as our authentic selves, as our real authentic selves. And so we must be vulnerageous. Now, like a lot of you, I heard that word, and for the first time I thought, what does that word mean? It is, of course, a portmanteau. Initially, I thought it was a combination of the words vulnerable and outrageous. I hoped for a moment that we were doing some kind of sustainability burlesque. I don't know what that would look like. That would probably be me coming on dressed as the Arctic permafrost and then very seductively removing a layer every so often. That would be quite nice. Every comedian aspires to be on stage telling jokes that only we can tell. And in order to do that, we have to be both vulnerable and courageous. We have to continually ask ourselves, what am I pretending? What are the layers? What are the obstacles? What are the hurdles that I'm putting between myself, my authentic self, and you, my audience? And you have to strip those away and strip those away, and that is the work of a lifetime. We are going to ask one of you to come up on stage and share with us a 2-minute story in which you share with us your most authentic and vulnerable self. But don't panic, we've already chosen them. I can see a lot of you going, oh no, not me. Please, not me. So your job is to make them feel wonderful. This person came to a workshop here yesterday, and about 20 or 25 of us sat here. We had a workshop where we tried to share things with each other, to tell each other things we would rather not tell, and to share our authentic and most vulnerable selves. So your job is to make this person feel wonderful, to help them shine with pride on their way up and on their way from the stage. Please welcome to tell their authentic 2-minute story. Give it up for Chander Balakumar.
Growing up, we all have an idea of the future we're building. It starts out blurry, but focuses with time and experience. But no matter how much we prepare, life always has plans of its own. We brace for storms, predict disasters, and still change comes. Sometimes sudden and catastrophic. For me, that was losing my mom, Ishri, when growing up. She was my constant, fierce, kind, and always forgiving. And when she was gone, I didn't recognize the world anymore. It felt like being dropped into a different universe one that I never asked to visit. That feeling, that sudden shift, that uncertainty is something I recognize now in our work in sustainability. We share knowledge, push for reform, and advocate for change. And yet, just when we think we're on solid ground, it's pulled out right from under us. Policies reverse, resources diminish, momentum stalls, and suddenly fear steeps in. Uncertainty replaces progress. Sometimes it even feels like doom. But I've been here before. Many of us have. Loss is universal, but so is resilience. We grieve, we adapt, we push forward, not because it's easy, but because we must. That's why I believe in the work we all do, in the people who refuse to stop or stand still, even when the ground underneath them vanishes. The strength of our work isn't just in solutions or strategies, it's in the people who carry on, who keep fighting, no matter what universe they wake up in. Grieve for what's been lost or what could have been, but don't forget about what remains. And what remains is us, lifting each other up, anchored by our shared dreams, refusing to be swept away. So please, look around you. You're not alone. And thank you for all the good work that you do.
Thank you. Chander, I just wanted you to see that some of them were standing up.